In autumn 2021, I met this guy named William Crew. He was a part of an organization called World Mission Center, and they were having an event at the church that I work for. We talked for only a few minutes, but connected really well within that short period of time. One of the things that we talked about was a trip that their organization was taking that following year to Turkey, Mongolia, and the part that I was most interested in, Siberia. I stopped him mid-sentence and I said, please, take me with you. I've always wanted to go to Siberia. He was super open to the idea, and we had some conversation, and a few months down the road when the decision came to whether or not I was going, he said, hey, listen, the borders into Russia for American passports is closed, so Siberia is now off the table for the team. Unfortunately, do you still want to go? And I said, absolutely yes, I do. Seems like a fantastic opportunity. Planning began, and this being a media trip, gear was important, and that's where it all begins. So the main purpose for coming here today is to figure out what kind of gear we have access to between William and myself, and then consider what we're filming and how we're going to film it, because with these kinds of trips, with the amount of travel you're doing in the airplanes, and you don't know how friendly the flight attendants or the people at the desk are going to be when it comes to your gear, which will likely weigh down your suitcase or your bag over the limit. So we have to consider those things and say, okay, what is the best choices to make? Because there's a lot of stuff on this table and a good amount of stuff back there. And so we just have to say, okay, what are we going to take it and consider why.
And not break it.
Not break it in the process.
Not break it while we're packing it.
Yeah. So for me, this has been one of my favorite traveling cases previously, just because it converts to an actual backpack and it has rollers on it, so it's perfect. This is hard shell. Is really awesome for airplane travel. It can be thrown and tossed around, and everything inside of it will be awesome. But I think I'm going to take this case. William is loaning it to me for the trip because it's essentially the same size as this one is, except it's a little bit smaller. You know, it's a little bit smaller, and there's a big front pouch here that I can put a bunch of clothing into.
I was actually going to ask you when you started, like, do you have a mic?
I've got it right here. I've forgotten to put it on. Yeah.
Okay, so we have the same mics.
Yeah, twinsies.
I have but I also have the Rode version, the original version, which is the Rode, and then I have the here's my Movo.
Yeah.
Twins.
We are twins.
In so many ways.
Yeah. As you can see, we spent some time planning and preparing on the front end of the trip, but through that we really discovered how similar we are in a lot of ways, especially about the things that we're excited for and that we love. So that really made me more excited for this trip as a whole. Our journey embarks and starts in Charleston International Airport. We are traveling today, this evening, from here to JFK. And from JFK we are taking a plane over to Paris. And we're going to hang out in Paris for a little while. But we're playing right now the famous waiting game that everyone does in the airport, which is where you wait around for your flight for an indefinite amount of time. We flew from Charleston to JFK into France. We actually had a long enough layover where we ventured into Paris, grabbed a meal at a cafe, took some really fun pictures, we walked around, and then it was back to the airport for our flight to Istanbul. We arrived to Istanbul about 4:30 that morning. Our driver that was supposed to pick us up didn't really show up when he was supposed to. We ended up taking a taxi, got to the hotel at 6, and we had about 2.5 hours of sleep before it was time to get up for breakfast and begin our day. That was really tough to do. Hello, good morning. We have arrived here in Istanbul at the hotel. What time did we get here this morning? When was that?
It was about just before 6, I think.
Just before 6.
5:40 something.
Yeah, he's making some coffee for us here. Well, cleaning it up, brother.
I'll be making coffee soon. Very soon.
We got 2.5 hours of sleep, had some breakfast, and now we've just prepped some gear to go out and be ready to shoot for some two interviews today. Two sets of interviews today. So I feel like I've got to hit this brick wall in the past 20 minutes.
So I was all good for breakfast.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting also like, am I awake? I feel awake. I'll just put the coffee in there. Okay, please screw this on. And this is a full double espresso. And then you put it back on the tray. And you add some hot water to it. And there you go.
A proper cup of coffee.
Proper cup of coffee. I
Thank
hope
you,
it tastes
sir.
great. I'll see now. I'll make another one.
Ooh. Bro, it's a pretty slapping cup of coffee, my guy.
Is it good?
Yeah. We have a really beautiful view outside our window into the bay. Out here, look at this. Once we were caffeinated up, we were ready to head out of the hotel and begin filming. I can't show much of what and who we were filming, but it was involving folks from Kazakhstan who are all Russian speakers. That was a really neat moment for me because I was able to understand what they were all saying natively. I feel like whenever you're able to do that, versus what you kind of get through a translator, which we had at that point, it's different, you know, it's really different. So I was able to speak to them in Russian and just connect with them on that level. It was really cool. And we also filmed a pastor who's working there in Istanbul to build up a community of Christ followers. We ended our day on the shores of the Marmara Sea, and the sun was setting, and it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold. It was really, I feel like, one of the first times when we were able to relax since leaving the US.
I don't know, they were more like...
But she had to get the tetanus shot, which was a lot worse than the bite of the monkey. Because he didn't actually bite her.
All right, friends.
Yes.
How did day one go for us? Tell us about it.
I think day one went very well.
Yeah.
I thought day one really went well. I mean, it was hot. Every time we stopped to do an interview, we had to close all the windows, and as soon as you close the windows, it was like an oven slowly preheating.
Yeah.
That was about the biggest challenge we had, I think, for me at least. What do you think?
I thought it went well. I enjoyed meeting the people and hearing their stories.
Mm-hmm.
But it was hot.
It was.
I think that the heat was definitely getting to me. Like it was making me more tired than I already was.
Yeah, that's one thing. We were exhausted today. I think the very little sleep thingy that we did,
Sleep thingy?
half a sleep thingy in the morning, we slept for what, 2 hours? Got up
Yeah.
and it's like...
Well, y'all went for breakfast, didn't you?
Yeah.
See, I did not.
Yeah, you didn't make it to breakfast.
I never planned to make it.
We were late. We were late to breakfast by. We woke up. We were supposed to wake up at 8:30. My alarms went off. I don't remember them going off. I know I turned them off, and I woke up at like 9:08, and I was like, oh man, we're supposed to be at breakfast right now.
So we quickly got dressed and ran up.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, so we did do that and saw, but it, yeah, I think it was technically and in terms of the story or the interviews, it went very well. Yeah. I think it was just tiring and hot.
Yeah.
Trying to stay awake during some of the work was actually hard, but it's the heat, like you said, makes it even worse.
Yeah.
But it was good.
I feel like I got to a point like midway through the first interview we did, and I was like, this is what we're here for, you know? Yeah. That was it. Like, this is the start of what we're here for. So a very like real moment on that front. I was thankful for it, honestly.
I actually posed the last 3 questions were basically the same question with 3 different, and I liked it because the main guy finally, right on the 3rd time I'm asking the question, we're actually asking not even about him anymore, but how the school affects other people. He finally tells me how it affected him. So I'm like, thank you.
The guy in the white shirt?
Yes, on the right of the couch.
He talked a lot.
He
had a lot to say. He had a lot to say. Yeah.
He did. He spoke the most, but he finally said what I was looking for right at the end. I'm like, finally, that golden nugget I was looking for. But so I think it was good. I love. This was the first time we had the opportunity to film something like online school where they look at it through Monarch and then discuss it on Zoom. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Because we tell people, some schools do it. This is the first time we could actually record a school do it live in a foreign country, in a foreign language. Like, I don't even know if we'll have that opportunity soon again.
That was insane.
That was huge. So that was good.
Yeah.
That was a good day.
Yeah.
Meals, all the meals that we ate was phenomenal.
They were scrumptious.
I just can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
I do want an iced coffee though.
We're gonna go get an iced coffee. That'll hold us through to our bodies drop later tonight.
Yeah, we have to a lot of memory cards and a lot of batteries to charge.
Y'all have fun with that.
If there was a thing of where, like, if they didn't, I would have given half of them to you, but it doesn't make sense. It just means that you're going to sit up even longer, so what's the use? I have to wait for all the chargers anyway, so it doesn't have two people waiting for chargers.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can use my iPad to copy.
You can, but I know it's so slow. No, I mean, I just copied 256 gig in 13 minutes.
No, you do it.
I mean, if I do it that fast, it'll take us an hour and a half, we'll be done.
Perfect. We can play Mario Kart.
You can do that. Play Mario Kart.
Or something of the similar like.
Yeah. Okay, shall we go get some coffee?
Yeah, let's get some coffee.
Let's go get some coffee. Sounds good.
Check out this. It's the evening prayer.
Evening prayer, yeah.
Yeah. Check out this really interesting airplane over here. It's fantastic. Oh, again!
Rid of you, I'm tired of you people.
Those folks are Willie and Lydia Crew. They are the actual founders of World Mission Center, so it's really very much an honor to be able to join them in their work that they were doing there.
Stop talking American to me, man. Je moet Afrikaans praten.
Because they're from South Africa, they speak Afrikaans, and oftentimes Willie would just start speaking to us in Afrikaans. Obviously, we couldn't understand anything he was saying, so I would just reply back in Russian, and we'd have this imaginary conversation with each other in these foreign languages, and it was like stupid, but it was funny.
I don't know anything.
Did you enjoy your ice cream?
We did. Oh,
Yeah.
it was goat ice cream.
Wow. The next day we had another interview to film, and took that afternoon to kind of relax and rest. We got connected with some more folks doing missions work locally there in Istanbul, ate some delicious foods, and then the last day we took to the city and explored. A couple of things I saw there that were incredible to see in person, of course, the Hagia Sophia and the Grand Bazaar. In those kind of moments, my focus is on the photography side more than the video, because it's a lot easier to snap photos of what's going on around you. While with video, you can get stuff that is stunning, but it's hard to do if your environment is not controlled and you don't have like a lot of access, which I mean, we as tourists don't tend to have. But it's easy to do it with photography. Check it out. Well, that was the first leg of the trip in Turkey. Next is Mongolia, and we'll see you there.
We have 12 hours non-stop filming tomorrow.
I've had like difficult shooting environments in the past. This was an easy environment to film in. But it's different when you're running on no sleep in the past 48 hours. It's like